Hi everyone, welcome to another reading journal video. Today I'm just setting up my mid-year check-in and my second half yearly goals and also my cover page for the month of July. So I'm currently doing my mid-year check-in, which is going to eventually act as a bit of a comparison page of the number and types of books I read in the first half of 2025 with the second half of 2025. I didn't have any particular theme in mind when I was decorating these pages, so I just kind of decided to go with whatever I was thinking at the time. Now we're going up to the information that I'm recording, and I only decided to record 3 types of information. So the first one is total books read in the first half of 2025, and that was 25 books. This was actually my goal for 2025 as a whole, so I did read way more than I expected so far this year, and I hope to keep that strong. The next data point I decided to record was the top genres I read in the first half of 2025, and this was not surprising at all to me because fantasy and historical fiction are my favorite genres of all time, so it's not surprising to see that come through in my top genres. My last is monthly favorites. This is where I recorded my favorite book of every month of the first half of 2025. While this is really interesting, it's also a bit misleading because there were some months where I had several books that I thought were very, very good, and then other months I didn't really have any particular standout book. So it is interesting, but maybe a tad bit misleading. And now the next page I'm doing is my second half of 2025 goals. I decided to decorate it in this kind of medieval scroll kind of aesthetic. I was trying to go for a scroll that the messengers would bring to tell the king and queen something. I'm not quite sure if I nailed it or not, but that was the vision. So now I'm going to be writing the 2025 second half goals. I don't really have anything specific. My first one was really just increasing the amount of books I want to read in this year because I did start at 25, and since I've already reached that, I increased it to 40. And I also want to read 2 more classic books and also 2 more non-fiction books. So that's extra on top of what I've already read, just to kind of expand my reading range a bit more. And my last goal is to complete the alphabet challenge, which basically you read a book for every letter in the alphabet, but I'm going to extend that to including authors' names as well because I have a feeling that some of these letters might be a bit hard to do. I also decided to include the alphabet challenge within my mid-year goals kind of spreads. So this will fit in really nicely just before I do the July cover page. And here I'm just putting in all the letters of the alphabet, and I will fill in what I've already read from this year, and then I will kind of cross-check it as the year goes on to try and fill in the gaps and complete the alphabet. Something that I really like including in a lot of my spreads is adding the pages of a book and using them to frame and border my spreads. I got a secondhand book that I never ended up reading, and I guess I don't really plan on reading, and I just tore out the pages and I cut or tear them according to my preference to stick them in. I know it sounds a bit blasphemous at first, but I find that this is also in a way giving a forgotten book a second chance. And here I kind of thought that the page looked really empty at the end, because I think I started the letters a bit too high up. So I was trying to think of a way to fill up the space aesthetically. So what I came up with was this dictionary definition card, and I basically wrote how to pronounce the word alphabet, and then obviously it's a noun, and then I put the definition under. And I think it turned out really nice and aesthetic, and it matches this whole vintage journal look. Now I'm filling in what I've already done for the alphabet challenge. I wrote it all on a separate page first, so I didn't have to keep looking at my Goodreads and checking which letters are which letter, which is why I have this really scrappy piece of paper next to me. Now I'm finally working on my July cover page, which actually definitely took the longest out of all the pages. Actually, it probably took longer than all 3 of the other pages put together, and it's also the page I will probably look at the least. But the theme I kind of went for July was a almost retro scrapbook kind of aesthetic. I wanted to, in a way, match these stickers that I had that were kind of pencil drawing looking. I did sketch out roughly what I wanted to have on the cover page, although I did end up adding a lot more than what I initially sketched out, just to both fill in space and just because I thought it looked nice. My vision for this cover page was as if I had opened my own reading journal and I was looking at an aesthetic desk setup. This is definitely not my desk setup. It looks very different. But yeah, that was the kind of look I was trying to achieve with this. A lot of this is very free-handed sketching, drawing, which I really enjoyed because I feel like there's a lot less stress because I can just make adjustments whenever I need to. I can add things whenever I need to, and there's a lot of flexibility in this. As you can see, I kind of messed up my outlining of this sticker that I'm using as a pseudo art print in this cover page, and I just covered it up with drawing black washi tape on top. And that's kind of the very free-flowing artistic style that I really like, trying to, I guess, if you make a mistake or a happy accident, as Bob Ross likes to say, you can kind of just incorporate it into your artwork. I don't have a goodbye June page on my personal reading journal, but I know it is a big part of a lot of bullet journals and reading journals that I see on social media, so I wanted to add that to this reading journal inside my reading journal. One thing I really liked from my June cover page was writing down the books I was currently reading and bringing it into the next month. And for that, there's only one book at the moment, which is Catch 22. I'm actually not sure if I will finish this by the end of July for a couple of reasons. The first of that being I have decided to try read more physical books because I just really like the tactile feel of turning pages compared to scrolling as you do with ebooks. And because I'm not really much of a book buyer, most of my physical books come from the library, and since libraries obviously have loans, they become my priority reads so I can hopefully finish them before my library loan expires. And because I have a lot of library loans at the moment, Catch 22 will likely be on the back burner for a while because I have Catch 22 as a physical copy that I own, so I can technically read it whenever. With these books I borrowed from the library, I would prefer to read them in the month that I get after borrowing, rather than not finishing, returning, and having to wait another couple months to be able to reborrow it, which is the case for a lot of popular books. I guess in a way it kind of acts as reading motivation as well. I don't know whether that's good or bad, but another thing to read more books, I guess. As you can see, I'm kind of coloring randomly. I didn't really plan at all the colors that I was going to do for this page. I only really thought about what was going to be on the page rather than what the colors were going to be on this page. But I thought, I'll do what I'll do, and it probably, hopefully, won't look too bad. And honestly, I'm pretty happy with the results. I kind of just kept coloring until I felt like it looked okay. But that's it for my mid-yearly check and July cover page. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope it gave you good ideas on what to do for your own half-yearly check and or July cover page. And I hope to see you for the next video. See you around!